What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Old School New School Comedy Podcast. Yes, we've been on a break. I am your host, Christy Miller, and yeah, we went through a little change of venue. I had to leave my previous venue at the comic strip, which everybody knew, and now I am broadcasting out of Broadway Comedy Club right here in Midtown Manhattan. Shout out to Dina Marie. Anyway, let's just cut to the chase. We've been gone for a month. Let's just get back into it and pick up where we left off. This woman, I love her so much. She has been in comedy since the year one, and she's still killing it and crushing it. She was in the top 5 in her season of Last Comic Standing. And if you don't know what that show is, you're 12.
There are a lot of 12-year-olds out there now going to comedy shows.
Exactly. So she's not only been on Last Comic Standing, but it also led her to a huge career working cruise ships. A lot of money in that, and you get to see the world. It's phenomenal. So she's had a hell of a career, and she's back on land with us. We love her. Give it up for Michelle Balan.
Yay! Thank you. Sit down. Please, don't get up.
Don't rush the stage, 5 at a time.
Actually, they just want to leave. They heard my name. All right. Actually, I started on Noah's Ark. Those animals, what a great crowd they were.
That was
honestly.
The best cruise you ever had.
Best cruise. You know, the other day, I have to say, how old do I look? I'm not kidding. I was at the Titanic Museum in Belfast, Ireland.
Did you recognize yourself in a picture?
Well, see, that's the thing. I was wearing my Titanic shirt. This girl, I swear to God, young girl, looking at me as if she was going to ask me, so how was that trip? I'm like, how old do I look?
You should have looked at her and said, I'm Rose. It's been 86 years.
Yes. I slept with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay, so yeah.
When you were 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that we're 112, we're too old.
I'm older than you. Shut up. Anyhow.
Barely.
So here we are, old school, old school, yeah.
She's the first school. So she was around when it wasn't new or old, it was just school.
Yeah, there were no desks when I started.
Tablets.
There was just one woman with a stick, the 5 of us.
It was just Moses holding up 2 tablets. Today's lesson is.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny that they call those tablets. And now you have, it's like he had a tablet. Did he have an iPhone? Tablets. Funny.
Like nowadays, they could stand and part the river with 2 iPads.
Yeah, exactly. I love Yom Kippur the Rosh Hashanah for the jokes I do, but nobody's Jewish here, so let's skip along.
I'm not Jew. I'm Catholic, but
I
still get the Jewish humor.
I know. Some people do.
You know,
it's not a good time.
We're just retail Jews. That's all.
Not a good time to talk about Jews. Okay.
Hey Jews.
I know. I swear to God, I always say that. Hey Jews. We didn't kill you.
Happy birthday to
Jews. Yeah.
Whoa, she's spitting already, people.
Oh, how is that my?
Yeah, that's you, girl.
That's what happens when you're a certain age. You start to spit. I swear to God. Oh God! Somebody kill me.
Is that your closer on stage?
Yeah, exactly. What do I?
You're like Gallagher.
Are you kidding? No, I throw up on them and pee. Yeah, I know.
I
go up there. I go because he's an implant. Excuse me, can I have those teeth back? Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for. Jeez Louise.
Oh my God. They're gorgeous. They're so funny.
Stop it.
So there's a lot going on in the world besides all the scary stuff. But in the comedy world, there's a lot of crazy shit. And I know you've been in a lot longer than I have, because I started in 95, and I think you started in 1895.
Exactly. So, I told you, yes. On a Stagecoach was my first show. Yeah. That's how I got to LA for the sitcom, on a Stagecoach.
Exactly. So, but how has the industry changing these last 20, 30 years, especially with social media, with the TikTok comics and all that stuff? How has that affected you, and how are you navigating?
It's so crazy because I mean there was none of that. I remember when I was on Last Comic Standing. That's when MySpace. Do you remember MySpace?
Oh yeah.
MySpace.
Dane Cook made MySpace big.
Yeah, he did, and I was on it all the time when I was on the show. And I loved MySpace. You know,
MySpace was great, but I was a nobody back then. So
yeah, but it didn't matter. But it was beautiful. Now Facebook. You know, MySpace was like you made a little website. It all
was good. You had a little page and decorations.
And then Murdoch took over, and there it went. No space. So, but that's when it all. I mean, I was saw this technology. I was like, what is this stuff? What did we have before that? Nothing.
No.
I was like, it's a phone. A party line was the best I had as a kid. I'd have to break in. Can I make a emergency phone call?
Remember the 800 long distance?
Yeah, God,
like MCI all the long distance carriers you had to dial into, and 1-800-COLLECT. Remember that?
Oh God, you'd have to pay 25 cents a minute. Remember those?
Yeah.
Phone sex was so expensive back then. 25 cents a minute.
I know. I went and I had to file bankruptcy 3 times. Thank you.
Even though she was the one doing the sex.
Exactly. I paid them.
Yeah.
Please call me.
Please call. But I remember I was in LA. This was when one of the many times. I mean, I'm writing a memoir about all these stupid things. When you always think
you need to, Michelle.
When you think this is it, this is it. This is not it. Oh my God, your hopes are so many times. You're like, yeah, this is
where am I going? Why am I over here?
Yeah,
how did they get over there?
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you start with somebody that you mentored, and then you're watching their TV show at home.
Yeah. Oh yeah, been there.
God, it's so hard. It's so hard.
It's so brutal.
And I met so many people. So I went to this one agent. It was a big agency in LA. Was I on Last Comic or before Last Comic? I went through some agents and managers. I don't know who these people are. I don't know.
Gersh, CAA, William Morris.
No, I was not that big.
Oh.
Yeah.
3 arts.
Yeah, no, not even 1 art.
All the art left.
Although I knew Dave Becky, I met all those people. I met them all.
Yeah.
And
we all did.
I don't know what it is. There was something missing. I had something, but I remember this one years before the social media. He said to me, the first day I had a meeting and and the first question he goes, "Do you blog?" I'm like, what the hell what blog? Because in those days, it was blogging.
The blogging, yeah.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to know.
Listen,
do
I
you
blog? I blogged my toilet.
Yeah,
Nothing?
yeah,
Come on,
exactly.
people.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, that's not the one. Damn it. Sorry. I hit the wrong one. I think it's this one.
I love that.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Instead, we just had a little dance in the middle there.
Yeah, right?
But I was like, blog? Blog. So then, that's when the beginning, it started with the blogging and this and that. Nobody cared if you were, funny, what you were. How many followers now do you have?
Yep.
How many followers do you have? It's like, how do you get these followers? I mean, I don't even know. I'm like, Hitler got a lot of followers. How did he do it? Yeah. What do I have to do?
Listen, I have as many followers as Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
12.
Yeah, exactly. You're crazy.
I'm nuts.
And we're at the dinner table right now waiting for the party. I don't know. It's crazy. I was quitting. I've been quitting all the time. Quitting.
I quit every day 14 times a day. It's like ritual. Like, what time is it? 11:50 a.m.? Okay, I'm quitting comedy.
Because it's such a roller coaster ride. One day, I'm telling you, you're up here, then you're down there. I don't know if you know Nell Carter. She won the Tony.
I love Nell.
Well, my very first cruise was an all-gay man's cruise, RSVP. This was back in the mid-90s.
Right.
And I was with, on the cruise was B, Sandra Bernhard, Nell Carter. I mean, I was brand new at the time, and I was like, ooh. And so I met Nell, and we became fast friends.
Of course.
And she loved, I used to eat dinner at her. So she told her agents in LA from that ship, you have to see Michelle. You have to, you got to see, she's coming to LA. I want you to meet with her. So I go and I meet them. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're taking me to the mail room. I'm like, woof. I'm thinking this is where my contracts are coming in. I'm walking around.
You're going to start here in the mail room.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. So I'm walking, we're going to introduce, this is Michelle Balan. They bring me coffee. I'm like, what's happening? And this is, woo, I'm in. So I'm in their office. I'm looking out the window going, I guess my picture will be on that billboard over there. It was just really, really nice. And I'm sitting there, and they go, we looked at you. At that time, it was tapes, remember?
Right. I remember the tapes with the headshot and the resume on the back.
Oh, my God.
Put it in an envelope and send them in. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, geez Louise. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, this is it. One more. This is it. Okay. And, yeah, they say, Nell is, she says, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, well, a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 10 years go by. I'm like,
cut to today, still waiting.
Yeah, still waiting. 40 years later, it's like, and I'm like, oh my God, they were showing me around like I was their next, big star. And I was like, this is ridiculous. It's like when I had the one agent. It's a quick story.
Yep.
I was at Caroline's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing, I don't know what it was, a show. I don't know. It was just a guest spot or something. I don't know what it was. Well, maybe a little show. It was right before Christmas. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing a spot, and this cute guy comes up to me. He says, I'm an agent. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm with Buckwald, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Sean, I remember. And he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I want you to come to my office. And, and I'm thinking, here we go.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in again.
I remember those.
Oh, God, I'm in. I'm in debt. That's what I'm in.
Good night.
So, yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Funny. So I go, here's the funniest, it was right at Christmas. So he says, come up next Monday after so I come up. I got all my press kits, which had phony press, because I had no press.
Yeah,
I made things up.
Yeah, you make it
I
up.
had VHS tapes up the kazoo, carrying it all. I walk in, I go to the receptionist. I'm here to see Sean. She goes, Sean doesn't work here. I go, no, he does work here. I know he works here. Sean, where is Sean? He works here. She goes, he quit at the Christmas party. I'm like, who quits at a Christmas party?
Sean.
my one, I was getting an agent, you quit. And I go, where is he? Where did he go? What agency is he with? I was like, I'm in the hallway of their, lobby. They're going, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to leave. I was devastated. Where's Sean? I want to go talk to him. How could I reach her? The woman's like, in any minute she was going to call security. Get the fuck. So there went that one. That was my other big, geez.
Yeah.
What do you got to go through to get anything here?
It's ridiculous.
And I was going to quit before Last Comic Standing. The first time I auditioned, I bombed like Hiroshima, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
It always happens that way, though.
Well, because, we'd have to audition in front of the judges.
In front of all the suits.
Yeah.
And nobody laughs at anything.
No, and it's
in
the dark.
They just stare at you. They're in the dark. You can't see them.
Yeah, and
Caroline's
is like 300 seats, right?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So you don't even know they're back there. And the two judges, I happen to know one who's, but still, he was,
right.
Favoritism. But, so I had no idea what to expect. So I go in there and I'm like, you start to do your stupid material in front of two guys staring at you in a big vacuous room with people in the back, and and I'm in my head going, oh God, this couldn't be worse. This is so bad. I mean, it took everything. It was like 11 in the morning and I had a margarita or 3 or 4. I was like, with my friend, I go, we gotta go. I can't, this is it. I'm done. I can't. That was so painful. It was like, oh my God, after many years of doing comedy, because this was in the 2000s already.
Right.
So the next year it came back again, and so it's go audition, and I'm like, I don't. That was hard enough the first time, but then the difference is now I knew what to expect.
You knew what to expect, yeah. So you don't have any bullshit conceived notions in your head.
No.
You know exactly what it is, so you can just get out of your head and do what you got to do.
That's what I did, and I made fun of the situation, and that's what and that was fun. And they go, why should we put you on Last Comic Standing? And my answer was, because you need an old broad on there.
And they were right.
And you know what? And
I
bet you they said, it couldn't hurt to have an old broad on here.
Yeah, representation.
Yeah.
It's all about that, totally.
Yeah.
I'm about that.
But the whole show was tough, living with other comics. We lived together.
Yeah, I know. I remember, Jay Moore created that show for Ralphie May, and it started off being the comic house.
Yeah,
just
the comics
house. Living together like the real world.
Right.
Like comedians. And so because Jay had Ralphie opening for him, he loved him and he wanted to showcase him.
Right.
So he created the show. And then they said, no, we want it to be a contest. It can't just be comics.
Right.
What's the edge? Like,
yeah,
what's the payoff?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So they made it a comedy show. And when they got it and they sold it and they did the first season with Ralphie, and I said, Ralphie, do not win. Whatever you do, don't win the show. And he's like, why? Hey, why, Miller? And Miss Ralphie, God rest his soul.
He was so
one
funny.
Of the funniest. And I said, don't win, because you're always going to be known as a contest winner. Look at Ruben Studdard from American Idol.
I was in the same place with Ruben Studdard years ago at a little cabaret.
Yeah, he won American Idol.
He won.
Look at where he went. Nowhere. I said, dude, you'll be labeled. You want to come in second or third, get some heat off of it so they still know you as a comedian.
Right.
We had this conversation at the Comedy Store in the parking lot. I said, dude, just don't win, whatever you do. So
does anybody know the winners? I don't know.
Yeah, Dat Fan won.
He won. Oh, I know who won that season. Yeah, everybody was like,
everybody was up in arms. I said, nope, that's exactly the way, because Dat Fan will disappear in 5 minutes. And Ralphie will have a career. And then Ralphie got a residency in Vegas, and he was crushing it, you know.
Yeah, he was.
And literally when he sat on it. Good night. Thank you.
Well, Ruben studied when he was on American Idol. He used to wear a shirt all the time, 202. I go, is that his goal weight? And I had good jokes back then. But I'm on American Idol, IDLE.
I'm on American Idol. Good night. Thank you. I'm a cranky bitch.
Yeah, that was it. That that was sympathy for him. That was new comedy, and then there was some controversy that went on with the show because of Jay Moore.
Oh yeah,
what's his name?
Jay's a scumbag. Yeah.
No, but it was what's his name?
Still a scumbag.
The agent, what's his name? The one that owned the Boston Comedy Club. What's his name?
Oh God! Oh God!
Yes,
oh God!
Oh God!
The guy with the head and the 2 arms. Remember him? Yeah, that
guy. yeah, he has a nose. What's his name? Anyway,
I forget. Yeah. Write in and tell us.
Yeah. So they got.
I forget everybody's names.
Oh God, please!
It's so bad.
I don't even
sorry,
know.
who are you?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I don't even know who I'm sitting with. Jesus.
I don't know what you're sitting with.
I'm so bored these days. I go to the doctor for excitement. So I there was some controversy, and so then they canceled the show in the middle of season 3, I think. And I'm like, well, okay. So then season 4 came, and that's when I auditioned again.
Right,
so the one I originally bombed was the one that was canceled. So
hilarious.
How funny is that?
See, I didn't watch it after Ralphie. I didn't care. Then like Tammy Pescatelli got on.
She was on the air before me, yeah.
Yeah, and she was on. Her and Jay London got the show. We knew that months before.
Jay London. Oh God, I love him.
Oh, please like me.
Yeah, I love him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll never see me again. My friends and I quote.
Yeah.
We do Jay London all the time to each other.
You know what? He's one of the funny. But you know what? I saw people not laughing. I'm like, how could you not laugh?
Because they don't get it.
They don't get it. I loved him.
Jay London is so smart and so ethereal. Like he's a thinking man's comic.
Oh,
he's kind of like Stephen Wright, but like on drugs, like on an acid trip.
Yeah, who hasn't combed his hair in 12 years. You should look him up on whatever you
on Instagram, Facebook,
Jay
wherever.
London. Oh,
or go on YouTube and look up Jay London.
Where is he now? Do you know?
He's in Santa Monica, I heard. But then he's been back here. I ran into him a few years ago at the comic strip.
He was a cab driver.
Yeah. He looks like a cab driver.
He looks like you wouldn't want to get in the cab with him. That's how.
No, if he paid your fare, he'd be like, "Thank you. I'll never see you again."
That's right. Thank you. Thank you.
But so I remember when Tammy and Jay got it, and it was like 6 months before the auditions. I'm like, this is so fucking rigged.
Yeah.
And then they do these cold auditions like these
online.
They sit online at the Laugh Factory, and everybody's standing out there trying to get an audition. It was for the SAG rules, because SAG says if it's a contest, it has to be open to everybody. That's the rules. You can't cast it, otherwise it's not a contest.
Right.
So they cast the comics, and then they had I remember when my friend Retha Jones auditioned, and like Rogan and Natasha Leggero.
Yeah.
I sucked my way to the top. Thank you. Fucking whore. They were the judges, and somebody else, I can't remember. And Retha, very funny. She's back doing comedy. Yeah. Thank God. She went up on TV and bombed. She bombed like Syria.
Oh,
like
God,
it was so bad, and she was crying. And I'm like, God damn, dude.
I know that feeling.
It's not cool, man. It's not cool. Like those, like I remember, because I opened for Paul Mooney for 150 years. So he's why I live in New York.
Right.
So, we were at the Comedy Store together when I started. So
I remember seeing him at Caroline's all the time.
I was always there. And then there was like a year or so that I didn't do any stand-up. I took a break and I played roller derby. Yeah, because that's not out of character.
Yeah, she doesn't look like a roller derby person.
So, and then Mooney goes, you need to be on that stage, not on those skates. Oh. So, I miss him. Anyway, what were we talking about? This is what happens when you get old.
I know. So you were opening for Paul Mooney and
New York.
Yeah, New York. You came back to the Comedy Store. You came back here, and what were we talking about?
I can't remember. Should we rewind?
Oh my God! Oh my God.
Don't get old.
Jesus. I'm in the middle of writing a book. It's called It Was Just in My Hand. I spent my whole day looking for. That's crazy. Okay, what were we saying?
Let's get back to the mic.
Are we talking about comedy, right?
Yeah, we were.
Okay, I don't know. So, the audition. She
bombed, and it was sad. She bombed. So, but it's so, like, there was, for JFL, they did auditions, and Jeff Singer used to be my neighbor.
Oh God, I remember Jeff.
And his drunk wife, Colleen.
I don't know his drunk wife, but I remember Jeff.
You didn't miss anything. And Jeff was kind of a dick to me the whole time. He would always talk down to me, and it's just like, whatever, dude.
I think most people he did, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a jerk, and that's why he got canceled and lost his position. So, anyway, nobody cares. Anyway, so they were doing a JFL.
Remind me to tell you what I did at JFL audition. Hilarious.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it was a JFL audition, and Jeff texts me, hey, why don't you come in and do a spot? I was opening for Mooney. Me and Mooney were at Caroline's that weekend. So Mooney goes, oh, you're doing JFL? Oh, okay. I'll meet you at Broadway, and then we'll go over to Caroline's, right? Because it was like 9 o'clock, and then our show was it was a Friday, I think it was? Or
by the way, JFL is Just for Laughs in Canada. Okay.
Yeah. No longer exists.
No longer exists.
Yeah, out of business.
Like my career.
Good night. Yeah. Just finally left.
My career has left the building.
Yes. So I come over here, and it was a total setup. It was a clean comedy showcase for like Christian comedy kind of thing, and I'm about as far. And my opening joke was about Rihanna and Chris Brown, domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And how she knocked me up with her fucking 5 head, and the keys, like, bitch, what'd you do? What'd you suck? It was very fun. It used to destroy in all the clubs. And they sat, because the guy on before me was talking about a ham sandwich for 4 minutes. And Mooney goes, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, a ham sandwich? What? This is some corny ass shit.
Yeah.
So it was, and they were getting laughs. And he didn't tell me that it was a clean comedy. I wouldn't have done it. I'm like, dude, I'm not clean. I'm fucking brutal. I go there. You know what I do.
Yeah.
So I go up there, and there's people laughing, but they were in shock.
Yeah.
And Mooney sitting back with the
Bring
judges.
back the ham sandwich.
Right. Who ordered the ham sandwich? We got a cunt instead.
My God.
So Mooney's back there cussing Jeff and Brian out, going, you motherfuckers, you set her up. This is some clean, corny ass bullshit. You should come see her in my room and watch what the fuck she does. And I was so angry. I stopped talking to Jeff after that. I'm like, you're a dick. You set me up to watch me fail.
Of course.
For some clean. I'm not clean. You know what I do, asshole. You just did it on purpose just to watch me fall. So then we leave. Mooney was pissed. He's cussing the whole way. We get to Caroline's. It was a Thursday night because it was a 10:30 show. We get to Caroline's, and I rip the place so hard. I get a half standing ovation. And Mooney would stand in the back of the room every night and watch me, which was great because he's my mentor. He's like my father. And he got off stage. He goes, see, they should come here and see what the fuck you do. Fuck that bullshit. He goes, fuck them. He was so angry.
Yeah.
He goes, that's what they should have came and saw.
Well, they set me up too. I remember when I stayed in LA to audition for the Jewish show, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, they had bar mitzvah show. They had all these different categories, and they would put you in. We want, I couldn't be in new faces with this old face. So I was in the bar mitzvah show. It's a Jewish
that's what Janice and I were talking. Janice Bassetti, she's done the podcast. We were like, we should do old faces.
Yeah, old new faces. You don't know us because we have. But so what happened is we go to the Laugh Factory, and so we get up to the audience. It's a regular show going on, crazy, everything, all material, all blah blah blah. And then at some point at 10 o'clock, they're going to start the Jewish auditions.
Oh my God!
Could you imagine? So there's nobody in that audience that's Jewish.
Not a single soul in Laugh Factory audiences.
Single soul and Laugh Factory audiences, and I was. Are you kidding? So I'm like going, should I do that material or just, and there'd be complete crickets. So, and then I go, I can't do the material for the Just for Laughs.
No.
I mean, at first I tried and they're staring at me. I'm like, this is an industry show. What industry are you? Lumberjacks? What are they? They're all wearing, So I was beside myself. I said, this sucks. I mean, I'm not doing my material here and have everybody stare at me. And then, well, how good is it going to be? So I deviated. I said, fuck this. And I went and I did, what I do.
Yep.
And that was that. And who said this to me? Well, you didn't do your material. Would you do that material? I mean, come on. What are you, ridiculous? So that was that for that. And they just, it's cruel. It's cruel.
They put comedians through so much hell.
Oh, yeah.
And nowadays, they don't even do that. They just look at your TikTok and go, oh, they have 100,000 followers. We'll book them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
so
like, okay,
different.
Great. You ever had the call of, hey, we want you to feature for this TikToker? Have you had that one yet?
No. Nobody's told me for that. No.
Oh, I have. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it because then I'll just bury them and watch them fucking die.
So for a TikTok, and what are you supposed to do? You get on stage? And,
I just do my shit and then watch them try to follow a comedian.
So are they doing, these TikTokers, what are they doing, comedy?
They try. They have about 3 to 5 minutes of material, then they show videos, or they talk about the videos that they made and that everybody loves that went viral. There was one, a friend of mine, it was a fan of mine turned friend. He lives in Minnesota, him and his wife. Mm-hmm. And they've seen me, they've come out to shows and they listen to me on podcasts and stuff, and they keep in touch, and they're great. Jeff and Carla are amazing. And he told me one time he went to see a show, and that it was like a TikTok guy or a YouTube guy that has like all funny sketch videos, and the whole show there was a screen on the stage, and it just played the videos from his channel. Remember this one? Oh, this was a great one.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, they paid how much to watch videos they could have sat at home for free?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know. I kept saying, I want to go viral. I got to go viral. And then I got COVID. So that's so great to be viral. Hello. I know it's so hard. I mean, it's a young person's game, that whole TikTok thing.
It is. And
I try to do it. I'll do it. Then I don't do it. Then I do the Instagram. There's too many things. It's like
TikTok
Facebook.
Is like.
And now they want to stop it because it's
the
Chinese are infiltrating us through TikTok.
Yeah, because it's so much. They found with the 5 different AI companies that almost 90% of the information on TikTok is misinformation, and only about 10% is real truth. And people are buying into the propaganda with all the bullshit going on in the world today, with everything from cancel culture to Gaza to the elections to everything. Like, you name it, it's all phony.
It's all,
And it's just like, I went on there and I would put my podcast clips up there to advertise.
Yeah.
And then I started putting comedy clips up there going, you know what, I should put comedy on here also. And motherfuckers shadow banned me.
What does that mean, shadow ban?
I mean, they'll let you keep it up, but they won't put it out in the algorithm. They block it.
Really?
But they don't take it down. So it gets like 1 view or 0 views, but it's on my thing, and I'm like,
well, who does that?
The AI computer banner.
Really?
Thingy. Yeah.
Oh.
So I just have that luck. So I just stopped posting on there.
But
I deleted it and then I reopened it.
At one point, I hired someone at Fiverr, that thing?
Oh, yeah.
To see about that. I had a video I did on a plane that got a lot of hits about a baby climb. It was very funny. And I'm like, how do I even keep this going? I mean, so I hired this Indian, Chinese, I don't know what, from Never Met Her. We just emailed. And somehow I got more hits, but I don't know what she did. But now I don't understand the algorithms and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know how to make it happen. I'd have to pay them again to say, I don't know.
Just because they know the ins and outs of it. Yeah. So it's paying a PR person to do that for you, or a social media marketer.
Now I looked at some. They're expensive. Now all of a sudden.
Because everybody needs them.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you have to pay to play. It's like the old, like in the early 90s, late 80s, when bands paid to play in the clubs.
Right.
This is what it is online now. You have to pay to play. And I've paid, like when I put my album out, when I release my album, download now. And when I released it, I paid like an ad for the video clips, and I put and just to get it out there. So it got a lot of views, but it didn't get, I didn't pay a lot of money. I paid some just to get it out there, just to let people know that I have an album out. And, but it's like, if you don't pay, they don't play.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, and also you never know what's going to hit. You just don't know.
You don't know.
You could put up something you could put the most brilliant fucking joke.
Yeah.
The most brilliant thing in the world. You're like, God, this is mind blowing.
Yeah.
I destroyed with this clip. And it gets like
nothing.
1,000 views at the most. and then turn around, you put on something like
stupid,
spitting your coffee out laughing, and it gets 150 million views.
I know. I watch these things and I'm shocked. I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, I don't understand. When you see somebody has 300 million views and it's like, what they do, they spit and they coughed and they shit. I mean, so I'm like, what? What are people watching? Yeah, it's like, what is, that's ridiculous.
The dumber, the better. And it's like, you can't be clever or smart or, you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. That's why this country, dumbed down.
We've been dumbed down since the Kardashians started.
Oh, so, God, yes.
You know, it is what it is. So,
and so, you know.
Now, I don't know what the code is, so I just put up what I like. Fuck it. You know what? If it's not going to get out there, at least I'm going to represent myself with good shit. Yeah. And go fuck yourselves. Like I can't do anything else except, you know, I need to suck a celebrity's dick. You know, I'm old now, so I'm ready. And I wouldn't put out when I was younger. But now, honey,
now they don't ask. See, that's the difference.
The gates are open.
The last thing I blew was a birthday candle.
Good night. So, thank you.
Hold on. You know what? It's a different world.
The last thing I blew was my back out.
Oh, that's even better. No, it's a whole different. It's a different world. It's a different world, and I like old school comedy. I have to be honest with you.
No, lie to me, bitch.
I always lie every time I see it. You think I've ever told you the fucking truth?
No.
Yeah, but I think. You know, I mean, I like the old school comedy people. I like the Catskills people. I like, you know, those.
Well, that's our generation we grew up in. So, you know, I love old school. But I honestly, I really believe, because I'm old school. And I remember I did a gig out in Valley Stream. It was a black room. Because, you know, I love me some black rooms, hunty. They're, delicious. And I headlined out there. And this comic, this new jack that was in the room, came up to me after the show and goes, yo, you do comedy old school. You old school. And I said, yeah. And he goes, man, you're fucking funny as hell. And I said, yeah, because I just do comedy. Like I'm not, you know, everything now is crowd work. You know, and I do crowd work, but I don't have anything pre-written. Yeah. I just fuck with whatever's happening. I address every elephant in the room. You know how I am. I'll just go there. I don't care.
And on a cruise, there are many elephants.
Good night. Thank you.
Boom.
And hi, Babar. Anyway, but old school comedy, like comedy itself, stand up itself, the meat and potatoes is never going to go away. It can't, because I always say we are the essential workers of the comedy world. Because we play these shitty clubs all across the country and keep the comedy life going. We keep live comedy alive in these rural towns with comedy clubs. Yeah. Because the big names are playing theaters in the main cities. Right. They're playing stadiums. You know, they're not playing.
That's why I went to cruises, because that was the only option. I don't do comedy clubs. I mean, anymore, I don't do it.
You were so smart to get hooked up with the cruises.
Well, I mean, they wanted me. I did, you know, for years. 15 years now I've been doing it. Now I'm on a break. I don't know if I took the break or they gave me a break. I'm not sure. But I, you know, taking a little time for myself, which is nice. But, you know, that's what people did. And at first, when I went on a cruise ship, I was like, oh, that's the end of my career. That means, you know, people go, oh, you're doing it. Because, you know, what's his name? Simon Cowell. You're a cruise ship singer. He would say that. Right. But meanwhile, I got to be honest with you. When I got on cruises, I saw some of the best talent
my God,
ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Way better than these
shitty clubs.
And these contests. Oh my God! I'm like,
no. Yeah, they pay for top-notch comedy and top-notch talent. I've seen some brilliant fucking singers. Like the girl, I did a swingers cruise a year and a half ago.
Oh yeah,
that
I did
was
one
a nightmare.
Before that. I did that too.
It was such a nightmare because it's not my scene. You know, I don't want to see people my age and older, fat with sloppy tits and balls dragging behind like a train on a wedding dress. Yeah. 1,000 of them banging all each other at the same time on the deck. It's a lot. It was a lot. It was too. If they were hot, I would have got into it.
It was the first time I've ever seen anything like that. And I was like.
Yeah, it was traumatizing, and I feel like I have, I feel like a Vietnam vet. Now I get the Vietnam veteran fucking flashbacks because it's terrifying.
Oh my God, it was the things I really. It's like it's like I was just born yesterday, like some girl out of Mississippi. Like, what the heck? You know, I'm a Brooklyn girl. They're like, what the heck? You know.
Yeah, and I'm from Cali. You know, we're all free love and all that shit, bitch. And it was free. You know. You paid a lot of money to fuck all these ugly motherfuckers. So, but it was traumatizing. I mean. It wouldn't have been so bad if that wasn't going on in every inch of the ship. Like I couldn't avoid it. So I'd either go to the gym or I'd stay in my room. or I'd go eat, and then you weren't supposed to be naked when you went to the buffet. You know,
No.
But they were. They didn't care. Yes.
They let them go into the.
Yes.
Oh,
they
see,
didn't
that
care.
wasn't like that.
It was terrifying. It was so unorganized.
I don't know what cruise line that was. But...
Well, it was, it was a charter cruise. It was
Yeah.
a Carnival cruise,
Oh,
but it was
yeah,
a charter.
different. Yeah.
A charter company rents the boat.
Of course, that's
And
what
it
they
was
did
an
at
old-
Royal, but
yeah.
they still had rules, you know.
Yeah, but there was, and then when they saw how many people were on the ship and how much money these people were spending, and this is a demographic that these cruise ships do not get. They get families, you know, happy, clean. They never seen, these people would never take a cruise ship like that.
No.
And they saw all this money, so they bumped my show a day, and they switched the schedules around, got rid of one of their shows. It was a charter. They're renting the boat, and they fucked him so hard. I felt really bad for the guy that owned the company. He was so stressed out, and I was supposed to be Tuesday night in the theater, and they bumped me to Wednesday when they fucking go on shore in Aruba, when they're doing naked barbecue all day long, and they come back, the show's at 10:30, they're drunk, they're sunburnt, they're tired, and they're dressed to get ready for the midnight 80s party.
Yeah.
And I have to do, there was a couple in the audience that was butt naked, and they were wearing masks, and I said, honey, you're covering the wrong hole. You know, like, what the fuck, dude, what do you... Dude, your orifice is on everything, and you're worried about your nose?
What do you wear to formal night? Nice earrings?
A smile.
Jesus. It really is. Well, Royal, it wasn't that bad. They had some rules. You had to, you know, I mean, it was, I saw things, but it wasn't allowed to be naked in the eating places or anything like that. No,
it was so crazy, and it was just like, so I just felt like
they spend a lot of money, those charters. They buy that ship for a lot of money.
And it was an old ship too. The gym sucked. The rooms were shit, and they were jerking them. They jerked them around so bad, and we got the brunt end of it.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right.
They jerked them around.
Jerked them off. Jerked them on. Jerked them, you know, whatever. But it was just like. That was my first and last experience on a cruise ship, and it's like,
that was the only.
That was the only time.
Well, that's different.
And I will never do it again.
Yeah, but that's different. That was different. That was a charter from these people.
See, I want to do a gay cruise. I want to
get
hooked up with
that's
the gays.
Also a charter. They charter. That's the same thing. They charter the ship.
I don't know anybody, so I want to get in on this shit.
Oh God, I did it for years.
I love the gay boys.
I did it for years.
They're my favorite.
I got sick of it, but I did it for years. And but see, it's different on a real cruise. They don't go through, you know. I mean,
but I'm too dirty for a real cruise. They would fucking throw me overboard.
Yeah, you won't do it.
Like there's an iceberg, honey, hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's throw her out to stop.
This bitch won't shut the fuck up.
Let's feed the whales.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of her to go around. So
it's different. So on the regular cruises, you're not traumatized like that, and they treated you well. I mean, you know.
So with all of this old school, like the styles, what do you think about this whole Jerry Seinfeld, like getting canceled, or people are throwing him under the bus because of what he said? Because Jerry Seinfeld came out this last week and said, comedy's dead, the crazy woke left killed it, and you can't say anything anymore, and they don't know, and they're stupid, and they're ruining comedy, and everybody has gone in on him.
Why? Who went in on him? I mean,
all the young kids.
These woke kids.
Yeah.
That have no idea what the fuck life is about. These woke kids.
They're so triggered out of...
These woke kids that have something to say, but if an old lady gets on a bus, you think they'd get up and give them the seat? These woke kids? They're bullshit. This is... You know what?
They're
it's
so
ridiculous. They're in these college. They're woke. And I remember once walking by Baruch College, and there was a woman who's blind walking her dog. And I'm walking by, and these kids are just sitting outside, I guess lunch break, whatever the hell. And her dog pooped. So this blind woman's going to pick it up. And I'm looking around going, not one of these little fuckers asked to help. I did. I went and helped. And I'm looking at them. I go, not one of you thought to maybe help this person? But they're woke. You know what? Yeah. They're go back to sleep, you woke pieces of... I don't like... They're
so scared of their own shadow.
I hate that whole generation. I have to be honest with you. I'm sad to say this.
Well, there's some good eggs in there. Not all of them, but, the ones that are the loudest on Twitter are the ones that I can't fucking stand. Yeah. It's like, you don't understand. Like, these kids have been coddled so much and bubble wrapped their entire lives. So they see their shadow. I'm triggered. Yes, I need a therapist.
I know.
Anybody have Evian?
Who do they think paved the way for these people? You know?
Like these kids, I'm like, Look up Stonewall, you fucking cock.
Yeah.
Look up what these people. Look up what I grew up in the 80s in San Francisco during the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
Watching trans women work in the streets because that was the only job they could get because they were considered freaks and less than human. So if they got murdered by a John, nobody cared because it was a trans person.
Exactly.
You know, and drag queens couldn't go outside in makeup in their outfits. They had to go to the dive bar, get dressed in the dirty bathroom,
honestly,
and then go do the show late after hours, and then get washed up in the bathroom sink and come home without getting killed.
You know what, though? I honestly, this whole, you know, this is going to sound bad. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, being, you know, a gay woman, you know, it was LGBT, then it became LGBTQ, LGBTQA, LGBT. Like, who the hell is in this list now?
Yeah.
And they have them and they. I mean, I'm going to get, you know, dragged over the coals for this. But I think that
Listen, you and Judy Gold say the same shit.
You know what?
You know, you're a bunch of old dykes, and I love
enough.
you.
But enough is enough. I mean, the more, you know, I remember the gay movement. They wanted just to be treated equal.
Yeah. They wanted to be left alone.
Left alone. Maybe have, you know, gay marriage, you know, have to be that. And fought. Now, those were good things to fight for. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, and you can't blame straight people. They're like, what more do they want? They want to be a they. They want to be a them. They want to be a that.
To me,
like,
these pronouns are the old punk rock. Like, you know, in the old hippie movement. Remember in the 60s with the Woodstock and the hippies, free love.
Yeah.
We're falling out of the society because we want to be just free love and do drugs and fuck each other. Like commune shit, you know. And then in the 70s, we had disco, but then we had punk rock. And punk rock was total rebellion against the system, against society.
Right.
So we shaved our heads, we got piercings, we had, you know, mohawks, we dyed our hair blue, we did all that shit. So that was our pro. Now these kids are just, you know, I just think they're kids being kids. Let them act stupid. They'll figure it out. And if they don't, if they have good parents, they'll figure it out. If they don't have good parents, then those kids are going to grow up and stay triggered their whole life and live in their parents' basement for the rest of their life.
But they're all coddles. You're right.
Yeah,
they're all like,
coddled.
you know, they don't.
And also the thing with Jerry Seinfeld, yes.
I agree with him.
Yes, I agree. But also, you have to evolve with the times. Like, I watch Andrew Dice Clay. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I've watched this man for 45 years evolve. And he's still Dice. He still does what he does. But his act is like, I told him, I said, you finally caught up to your act. He goes, oh, I like the way that sounds. I said, yeah, your character on stage is 45 years old now. Yeah. So what does a 45-year-old man talk about? He's set in his ways. He knows he's raised his kids. Right. He's married. He's got his career. He's you know, he's looking towards retirement. He's settled. So you're now Andrew with the Dice voice as opposed to Dice the clown. You know what I mean? So he's talking about personal shit.
It's almost like Kid Rock. What is he? 103? Kid Rock. You know, like you know, these people that still think they're kids.
They're just stupid. But Dice has evolved, and that's why he has a whole new fan base with these young kids on TikTok. Like Dice figured it out, and Dice is having a ball. Yeah. And people like Jerry Seinfeld. And here I'm going to play devil's advocate because I love Jerry. I think he's brilliant. Seinfeld was great. And he's so smart, and his comedy's really smart, and I love his stand-up. But here's the devil's advocate. Dude, you gotta evolve. You gotta get out of your own way. Reinvent yourself. You could still be Jerry Seinfeld with what's with these people. You know, do that.
He doesn't have to do anything for the rest of his 18 lives.
So he's gonna sit at home and bitch about it. You know what I mean? That's what I can't stand either. It's like, then do something.
What? I think, you know, I think he's not bitching for himself. I think, maybe he is. I've seen him at Gotham do some jokes, and you know what? And I think that he's realizing. I think he's bitching for other comics now. Yeah. This generation, because
but I still do.
They didn't have to do crap like that when he was young. You could get. I mean, like the show All in the Family. That could never be on TV today.
And it's one of the funniest shows on the planet.
And it was a parody of all of this crap racism. It wasn't racist. It was showing what people thought. Yeah. And now it'd be like, oh, now we can't do that. I mean, what's happening is now we're not letting people see real life.
No, we're not. And they're coddled and they get triggered. So if somebody, you know, that's another reason why I feel like I'm working on my next album, and I think I'm going to call it Inside Voice. Mm-hmm. Because my act is like all this shit you think and you're not supposed to say, because it's not nice, and I make fun of it. You know, I make fun of the fact that
we're almost going back to the days of Lenny Bruce when they arrested him. Yeah. You know, now it's like we're going to head back that way. You can't say that way. You're canceled. I mean, right away you open your mouth and it's like,
Yeah,
I've lost my job. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, it's
you know.
So that's why I'm like, what? I'm just going to do
We
what I
should just do mine.
Yeah. And you'll get canceled because you probably put a middle finger in front of the other finger.
Probably.
But I know it's a joke. But anyway, I always love to wrap up the show with 2 questions.
Oh, okay. I'm not telling you how old I am.
Okay, well, there goes that question. So now we have 1 question left.
And the second one is, how are you still alive? Okay.
Last comic standing? Barely.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Barely.
But I always love to ask this because it's always fun to see what other comics think of other comics. What is there a bit that a comic has written that they've done and you saw it and you went, God damn it, that's brilliant. I wish I had written that first. And what was it? Do you remember?
Oh, Jesus.
There's a million of them. I know.
There's so many of them. There's some. Yeah, there are. We all do. We go, oh, why didn't I?
Oh, that was right there.
Yeah, why didn't I think? I knew I could have thought of that. Oh,
yeah.
Why didn't I write that?
Yep.
There's so many. I can't even think of one. But there is one that's crazy. I mean, this is kind of rude.
Don't worry about it. This is fun. This is what the
She's not a big name comic. Jackie.
Fabulous?
No, she's a woman. Oh God, I worked with her on Olivia, which is a lesbian charter, and years ago. And I got pissed off at her, but I loved it. It was a Jewish thing. They were reading. She was reading. She goes, I was reading that Hitler's secretary had no idea what was going on. And so she said, could you imagine? She's sitting there. She goes, oh, you look very nice today, Mr. Adolf. I like that suit you're wearing. Can I ask you a question? Why is this gas bill so high in August? Oh my God.
That's hysterical.
I'm a Jew and I die, but some Jewish people some of these
because people get offended because they're told they're supposed to be offended.
Oh,
Nobody
God.
gets offended.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about you. Like, I used to open for
It's so
Paul
funny
Mooney.
because I still remember that was years
Such a
ago,
great
and
line.
I'm like,
why is this gas bill so high in August? Hilarious. That's brilliant.
I don't think they invited her back to do those cruises anymore.
Oh my God. Lighten the fuck up. Like,
it's, because those, lesbian women, older lesbian,
they're
very
PC.
critical.
Yeah, they have a list.
PC, yeah.
So, like when I used to open for Paul Mooney, and I would sit in the back, after I do my set, I'd sit in the back and I would watch him because he's the master. It's like the professor's on. Like, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, even though you know his whole act by heart, but still. And there was always those white people in the audience that would have their little white meeting at the table going, and I'm sitting there and I'm dying laughing, at what he's saying. And they would look at me like I was crazy. And I looked at them one night and I went, he ain't talking about me. It's like, if it ain't about you, you're not going to get offended. You're going to laugh because it's funny. But if you're getting upset, then there's something inside of you that you resonate with that. And it's telling on you, darling. It's a mirror, homie.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, but white people
that's
always,
a brilliant bit,
I know, but white people always feel like, like
we always have to speak for other people.
Yes.
We have no business talking for. And we're always offended for other people that we have no business being offended for. It's like, just stand beside somebody who's hurting or marginalized and just have their back. You don't speak for them because you don't know what they're going through. Just stand beside them and say, I got you. You need me? I'm right here.
It's almost like that thing when they go, how do you start a black joke?
Yeah, look over your shoulder.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's like, So, and then the last thing, which is always fun, because we're old heads. So we love to tell dad jokes, street jokes, silly jokes to try to make each other laugh. And Paul Mooney used to close his sets every night with street jokes.
I love the
But
street
he would
jokes.
Mooney-ize them. He'd put a Mooney twist to them and he would destroy.
Yeah.
So do you have a go-to street joke that you like to tell?
Oh, Jesus. I actually do. I have a few little go-to street jokes,
Say one or two.
Like one was this guy, he went to a hooker. He paid her $5. He gets home, he has crabs. He goes back to her. I got crabs. She goes, what do you want for $5? Lobster? Something like that,
She must have been a Jewish hooker. What do you want for $5? Lobster?
Yeah. Or the Jewish one.
Okay.
This old Jewish woman calls a newspaper. How much for an obituary? They go, it's $10 for 6 words. You go, good. Please put Saul Cohen dead. Because you have 3 more words. Cadillac for sale.
Oh, hold on.
I know that. You know what? Those street jokes. I always wonder who wrote all those street jokes.
I know, it's amazing because it's like, where did they come from? Who started
There's
this?
so many, and
There's
it's like
millions, and
they're so funny. Who wrote these things?
Yeah. I want to meet the guy that originated the street joke.
I know. I mean, there's so. I mean, it's a lot of the old Jewish, you know.
Yeah, the old
Buddy Hackett's and all those
yeah.
people that wrote. I remember Buddy Hackett. He'd go into a restaurant. And go, I'd like a table by a waiter. You know,
he was brilliant.
Yeah, so funny without being dirty, without being
just being themselves.
Yeah.
It's just because that's what it is. They have a strong point of view. They have a strong voice, and when they speak, they know who they are.
Right.
When you know who you are, you can say anything on stage, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
well, in those days, they couldn't do what's being done now. You know? I mean,
never. It's a whole different. It's a whole different animal now. But. I love you so much, Michelle. Thank you for being on the show. You'll have to come back
I came
again.
here in the rain and everything.
Oh, God, she's so Jewish.
Exactly.
I had the rain and my hair and
my
this
hair
and that. And this and
I don't need to shrink anymore.
Don't get in the dryer.
Yeah. But this is fun.
Tell everybody where they can find you on the social medias. And if you have any big gigs
most likely at my therapist office is where you could find me mostly, or at the doctor. When I went to the doctor, he says, you have acid reflux. I go, is that my LSD coming back from the 70s? But I'm hooked. Okay. Anyway, I'm, you know, all my social, M. Balan, I think. Michelle Balan, Facebook is Michelle Balan. Everything's my name.
It'll be tagged in the description of the show. So
Balan. Always look for my last name, B-A-L-A-N. That's nothing,
Michelle Balan.
Yeah, nothing creative. It's all my name. So you can find me anywhere.
Yes, you can find.
I can't hide from people I owe money to. It's all,
you can find her at TJ Maxx. You can
exactly.
find her at the deli.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fashionista.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love you so much.
I
Thanks
love
for
you
being
too.
a part of
this was fun. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Old School New School Comedy Podcast. Welcome back to the show. We've been on a hiatus. We are back for good now, people. Be sure to follow us at Old School New School Comedy on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, follow, and subscribe, and share, you know, and and you can follow me at Christy Miller Comedy as well on all the socials and everywhere. So until then, people, we will see you later. Biatch.